to turn things over to Dr. Piergrassi. So Dr. Piergrassi is a licensed psychologist who currently has a private practice in the Towson and Lutherville area. He and his team of practitioners provide numerous resources that improve coping and mental health for children and adults in our community. He has consulted with universities, schools, businesses about mindfulness, and he has completed mindfulness-based stress reduction training as well. So without further ado, I would love to turn it over to Dr. Piergrassi.
I want to thank you, Dr. Peters. It's really nice being here. So some of us on the call likely know somebody suffering from the coronavirus illness. Some people on the call may themselves be suffering from the illness at this moment. Many of us are experiencing financial stress, family stress, job stressors. And like many, I myself have added homeschool teacher to my resume. And I have never, ever been more appreciative of teachers. I've always thought they were underpaid, but I wanted to give a round of applause for our teachers. It's been strange times, and words previously reserved for sci-fi novels and Hollywood movies now are common parts of our vocabulary, such as quarantine and super spreader, social distancing. We're experiencing a bizarre 180-degree turn from when we were teenagers, at least some of us are, and we're now the ones yelling at our parents to not sneak out. And I don't know if anybody else has realized how hard it is not to touch your face and how much my hands love to go up there. It's been a real realization. But amidst all this change, I think there's a common feeling I've been hearing about, and we're all grieving. And it's a loss of the old normal, and we haven't yet co-created the new normal. So we're in this transition period. And it's that heavy feeling, that shaky feeling that many feel when they check inside right now. And I think it really helps to recognize that we're all feeling that together. And I don't know how many are on this webinar, if it's 750 or 1,000 people, but there's a big group here that are gathered here together feeling that same thing. I'd love to do just a collective deep breath together. Breathing in, breathing out, and just feeling we're in this together and we're going to figure it out together. Like Dr. Peters said, stress, anxiety, strong emotions are a natural part of this time. I mean, have you noticed how uncertainty tends to bring out the most unhealthy aspects of everybody's personalities, whether it be emotional eating or disrupting sleep or difficulty getting out of bed, fatigue, worry, panic attacks, or perhaps 2 rooms full of toilet paper. It is something that when you have people bottled into an apartment or a house, all with their unhealthy behaviors becoming a little more extreme, it can be a combustible situation, an emotional minefield. And there's actually been some memes around that. I think it's good to have some humor. It's been a blessing being home with my husband for the past month. We've caught each other up on everything the other has done wrong for the past 15 years. This is your pilot speaking. I am working from home today. And inside our own heads can also begin to feel like an emotional minefield. So raise your hand if you've noticed your own mind hyper-focusing on the worst-case scenarios about our current situation, or ruminating about something stressful in the world that is not here in front of you. Or your mind comparing this moment to what April life would have been like, which absolutely makes you feel miserable. And you notice that the mind loops around about stuff that makes you angry at others, sometimes magnifying it, causing you to lash out at them. Or the mind criticizes you for the ways it says you will be falling short now by not accomplishing this or that. When we're mindful, we're not lost in that reactivity. We're not on automatic pilot, but rather we're consciously focusing on what we value and are acting from there. So again, raise your hand if you have noticed that anxiety and irritability are contagious in your living space, in your workspace, on social media. The other day, I found myself raising my voice with my own 3 kids, only to realize that it wasn't them. They were just being energetic, cooped up kids. I had just read something about COVID-19 and was trying to get a sense of control by reining in my kids' exuberance. And then my kids began yelling, and it's contagious. Mindfulness practice is about learning more skillful ways of being with difficult emotions, so we're not coughing up our anxiety or irritability onto other people's brains. So in these stressed out situations, there's power in being able to recognize your emotional state. So naming it actually gets what's called the prefrontal cortex portion of your brain on board. So if you, I don't know if you can see my hand, but the top part of your forehead here is the prefrontal cortex. It's the thinking part of the brain. And the emotional part of the brain would be like my thumb and my wrist. And so that's getting that cerebral cortex online where you're naming it actually soothes the emotional part of the brain. And in that situation, I was able to catch myself and recognize that I'm actually not angry. When I felt what I was feeling, I'm anxious. And that then soothes the limbic or emotional brain. When you name it, you tame it, which is also great for our kids. So then you can connect to your senses, connect to your feet on the floor, connect to your breath. This allows you to reboot and come back to this moment. And you can feel in this moment, I'm okay. From this mindful place, we have more bandwidth. And I was able to negotiate a different room for my kids to have their pillow fight. So at any time during the day, you can notice your body, your five senses, and come back to the experience of showering, walking, cooking, parenting, directly connecting with your current activity. This is mindfulness. Hand washing is a great activity to link with mindfulness practice. I'm going to circle back to that later. I want to briefly discuss some of the tenets of mindfulness. So mindfulness is about acceptance of what you cannot change at this moment. So there's no point wrestling to make a door open inward when it only opens outwards. No point battling with what you can't control. A mindful practice helps you become aware of what you can control, which is moving towards your values. So setting your attention every morning can help you begin to align the day with your values. And perhaps you schedule when you check news or social media, and you balance that with reaching out to friends and family online. Some of the things that Dr. Peters was talking about. You can inch towards better habits with eating, exercise, meditation, even daily acts of kindness. It's possible to move in the direction of what you value, even if you're feeling shame, self-doubt, uncertainty. And even if that movement looks very different than it would have looked 3 months ago, and we can be creative. I just want to talk about our resilience, to be mindful of our strength, and just to feel that strength as you listen to this portion of the talk. Humans are incredibly resilient. Remember that you have had other personal challenging experiences in your life. Think back. Allow yourself to connect and feel your own strength and resilience. You also have likely lived through difficult collective moments in our nation. 2008 financial crisis or 9/11. Remind yourself that you can handle this stressful time. In regards to meditation, the most widely known type of mindfulness practice involves noticing when you're lost in thinking and returning your attention to something in the moment, like the sensations in the body or sounds or the sun just popping out from the clouds right there. But most often it's the breathing. The breath is commonly used as the center of focus. There's another type of meditation that's often called loving kindness practice. And for many, this can sound a little too touchy-feely. So let me talk about the brain science first. So there's a part of the brain known as the posterior cingulate gyrus, or the default mode network, that gets activated when we get caught up in ourselves. We're self-referencing, when we feel the sense of scarcity that a pandemic can bring, when we are on automatic pilot. It gets activated when we regret things about the past or worry about the future. On brain scans, we can see that loving kindness meditation makes this same network calm down. It also activates parts of the brain connected with feeling good, gives us more access to system 2. So in short, doing a few minutes of this type of meditation where you connect with your good wishes for yourself and others has been shown to increase feelings of well-being, reduce self-judgment, and just make you a kinder person. So let me guide you through something that combines both a simple mindfulness practice and this loving kindness practice that I just mentioned. So everybody, I'd love for you to play full out and participate. So sitting in a way that demonstrates you're interested in paying attention. So sitting up, closing your eyes if that feels comfortable. Start by feeling the bottom of your feet on the floor. Now taking some slow, deeper breaths, really filling the lungs, slow and steady. Repeating these slow, deeper breaths while being aware. Really aware what is going on with you right now. Like taking interest in the passing weather. What are you feeling right now? Can you feel any stress in your body? What does it feel like? Is it contracted or expanded? Like what are the sensations? Are they deeper on the surface? More on the right or left side? The answers don't matter as much as the activation of that curious part of the brain, getting curious. That's a big part of mindfulness. Allowing the breath to return to a natural rhythm now. Just notice the difference between thoughts arising and that movement of the breath. What's the nature of your thinking? Is it scattered images? Are the thoughts locked on one thing? Are they foggy? Are they up real close or are they far away? And then where's the breath most vivid for you? The nostrils, the chest, the abdominal wall. It may feel nice to rest your complete attention in the sensations of breathing. Just allowing that to be your whole world right now. When you get lost in thought, investigate how the thought is appearing. Is it an image? Is it words? And just allowing your attention to rest again on the breath. Now the next step is to imagine a good friend or someone who has been good to you coming through the door. This could also be a pet. Perhaps you feel a slight smile on your face. What does this feel like in your body? Like just feel those natural warm wishes you have for this person. And I invite you to put your hand on your chest, release a little oxytocin for yourself, and connect with the feelings. You can pick out your own loving wishes for them, or you can use some of the ones I'm going to suggest, but offering them some real loving wishes, like may you be happy, and just feeling that wish for them. Breathing it in, breathing it throughout your body. When your mind wanders, just notice where it went off to and come back to that feeling of love for them. Now offer to them, may you feel free from inner or outer harm. Breathing in and feeling that kind wish throughout your body. Now offer to them, may you feel loved for who you are. And if you feel love in your chest, connect with that feeling. If not, don't force it, just stay with the wishes. This natural capacity will gradually begin to reawaken on its own. Now I want you to bring yourself to mind, and perhaps acknowledging something this other person values about you, some of your own good qualities. And this can be more difficult for many people. So if there's resistance, just ask that inner critic that we all have to step aside for the moment. It can always return later, and feel the stress inside, like any place of emotional pain or tension. Feel that genuine desire that we all have to be happy, and just send from that place the wish. May I be happy. Feeling that wish. Breathing in that feeling throughout your body. May I feel free from inner or outer harm. Feeling that wish. Breathing it throughout your body. May I feel truly loved for who I am. Feeling that intention and breathing it throughout your body. Now just connect with your genuine wishes for the well-being of everyone on this live webinar. Feeling that and breathing it in your body. Now opening your eyes and noticing how you feel. Just imagine throughout the day sending these wishes to those you see in your family, on the street, in the grocery store. I did promise to talk about hand washing. So hand washing is a great opportunity. Dr. Fossey says he does it 50 times a day. So I don't know what number you're up to, but either way, it's a great pause that we all have throughout our day. And during this 20 seconds, with the hands lathered with soap, closing your eyes, and starting the process of thoroughly rubbing every surface of the hands. Just feeling that. And then taking one deep inhale, breathing in that wish for your own wellness, and on the exhale, breathing out that wish for the wellness of others. And it's just a simple pause that shifts out of that reactive, default mode, scared part of our brains, and shifts it into other areas that are much more connected to our wellness. So you can picture your faucet handle as an anchor. Just kind of picture it in your head right now. And I invite you to commit yourself for the next week to utilize all the hand washing you do throughout the day as an opportunity to exercise mindfulness and loving kindness. So to really build a habit, you have to do it regularly, just like an instrument, just like a sport, just like training a puppy. The more we practice, the stronger and more accessible those neural pathways get. So find a time every day, preferably morning, to practice building this mindfulness muscle. There are great YouTube meditations. There's apps like Headspace and Calm. Taking that time in the morning sets the intention for the day. And then you come back throughout the day, especially during the hand washing, to pause, reset, and realign with that intention. If you're experiencing any distress while doing this, or if you or anyone you love is experiencing distress in general, I want to encourage you to reach out to NAMI and get support. So I guess in closing, I just want to say anxiety and irritability are contagious, but calm and kindness are contagious as well. And so from that place, even if somebody else is caught in irritability and anxiety, not to get caught in it, but to bring the kind of energy you want to see spread. And I think if we all make that intention, I think that's something that we all can take away from this time here together. So I want to thank you for your time, and I want to thank you for your attention. And I'm going to turn it over to Carrie for question and answer.